Hello and welcome to a special one-off Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover playoff predictor special. We thought we were tying up a lot of our time in the preview, saying like which 7 and 6 teams going to make the playoffs. So we thought, why not jump on and do a separate call and go through the playoff predictor and see who will make the playoffs. This is obviously going to be set in stone. Get your bets in immediately. Joe, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Thought it would be, like you said, it would be a good little special edition. It's like both conferences are really tight around the playoff spot. So why don't we just, figure it out now, then scrambling every review, trying to figure out what the schedules is coming up and predicting this way. Why not just do it all in one? And hopefully win a few bets when we figure out who's going to make it and not.
Absolutely. Paul is somewhere in the background, is nursing a hangover from his 12th work Christmas do. They must pay them well wherever Paul works. So, we start with obviously week 15. And for YouTube viewers, you can see our screen, and we're sharing playoffpredictors.com, my favorite playoff prediction website. You can use it the entire year as soon as schedules are released. That's why I always use my season previews as well, for better or worse. So I figured we'd just start, obviously, with week 15. Raiders is already in there because they had a pretty comfortable win, I think it's fair to say, over the Chargers last night. I forget what the final score was even, 63-21, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Is my guess. And spoiler alert, if you get your news from Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover, Brandon Staley fired. Tom Telesco fired as well, I believe.
Yep, both fired.
Good, clean sweep. Yeah. Fully overdue and very well deserved. But we're not here to talk about Brandon Staley's highs and lows. Would be, much longer. Highs would be short. So we have our anytime spreads in, which should make this one a bit of an easier week to start with, at least. So we'll just kind of fly through the games. So we've got the AFC on the left-hand side, AFC and NFC matchups middle, and then NFC only. So Colts Steelers on Saturday. So many games this week. I went Steelers, you went Colts. I went Steelers plus the spread. Paul went Steelers as well. Do we go with Steelers to use Paul's tiebreaker there?
I have just loaded up a coin flip app. So if
perfect, that's going to be a bit more accurate than Paul.
Yeah. So we'll go with Steelers to start with. We'll take Paul's decisions week 15, but moving forward, like the following weeks, we can use a flip coin if we have big disagreements. I'm sure we can discuss the actual teams.
Perfect. And where we've all picked the favorite on our sheet, I'm just going to go with the favorite, because obviously if we all think the favorite's going to cover, or more to the point, if me and you, I'm not really too fussed what Paul thinks, as per usual. We all picked the Ravens, pretty clean sweep in the AFC this week. Poor Texans. What do we do? Bengals, Vikings. We all went Bengals. Interesting. I think that's going to be a close game, though. But yeah, we picked the Bengals. Lions, Broncos. What do we do? We all went Lions. Browns, Bears. I know I went Bears. What did you do? You went Browns.
I went Browns, actually. So, I think Paul went Bears as well. So we'll go Bears and in that game.
Cowboy, clean sweep for the Cowboys. Love to see it. And we definitely disagreed on the Packers and Bucks. Y'all went Bucks. Giants, Saints. We all went Giants, but that was a 6-point spread. So I don't know who I think actually win this game. So this one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd probably pick the Saints to win the game.
I would say the same, yeah. I think the Saints might win it, but it might be a 3-point if I had to choose.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, 3.2. Yeah, touchdowns a lot, though, for such a rancid team. I'm guessing we all went the Falcons. No offense. Yeah, we did. And then we've got San Fran. Again, we all went San Fran, even if we didn't go the money line. I'm sure we all went the Rams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no disrespect to the Commanders. And Eagles. Again, I'm taking the Seahawks on the spread, but I certainly wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win. And you and Paul took the Eagles. So cool. We'll go with the Eagles there. And then what we want to do is we just want to click. Do you want to go week by week and see how it's updated?
Yeah, we'll do that, yeah.
If you want to update this is to reset all of your picks. Sure, let's see what happens when we press reset. Okay. Reset the entire week, not what I wanted. So we have the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Titans, the Ravens, Cowboys, Bears, Lions, Bengals, Packers, Saints, Falcons, San Fran. Oh, it updates in real time.
Yeah. There you go.
Perfect. Cool. So who do we have out at this point? So, wow, NFC South would have 2 teams in if the season ended today.
Yeah, and the Saints would be 7-7 as well. So
Wow.
it'll be still 3 teams, 7-7. Obviously, that would affect the Packers and the Bears would be on the outside, 11-12.
Yeah.
And the
What would it
Seahawks
be?
would be 10th.
Oh, the Rams would be out.
Mm-hmm.
I would not expect the NFC South to have 2 more teams than the NFC West. The entire AFC North would be in. And obviously no one else over the division winners across the league. All right, next week, week 16, we're into Christmas. So where do we start? So we're both going to take the Bills, right?
Against Chargers, yep.
Well, Bengals at Steelers.
That's a tricky one.
That is a tricky one.
I would say right now the Bengals, but I would also be surprised if the Steelers win that, just probably they might be the home underdog. So
yeah, that's a really tough one to pick. I'll go with Bengals as well, though. Jake Brown's showing a bit. Hopefully he doesn't get caught out. I think this is going to be potentially a rough week for him against the Vikings incoming, but I'm going to go with the Bengals anyway. Jake Brown is showing a lot. Yep. Texans, Browns. You'd presume C.J. Stroud is back by then.
Oof. Again, these are going to be all tight, and obviously it's all playoff implication. I would probably lean towards the Texans at home.
Me too.
Just to beat the Browns, but it's a close game.
Yeah, and I do have real concerns with the Browns. Just they're so banged up. Mm-hmm. And eventually that does catch up with you. I know they've been doing really well to not let it catch up with them. But yeah, I'm sure it will at some point. We're taking the Broncos, right? I don't think we're picking the Patriots to win another game.
Probably not, no.
I don't know what their schedule's like, but I don't know who they could play that. I'd be Panthers would be
the Jets, because they always beat the Jets.
They do play the Jets again, actually. Chiefs over Raiders. I know the Raiders are the big one, but
I would say the Chiefs now because it is in Kansas. But again, I could see. Yeah, no, I'll go Chiefs. I think realistically, you expect the Chiefs because again, that's a team who dominates the Raiders most years. So unless the Raiders pull out something special, yeah, you got to go the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I think Aiden O'Connell's not going to have an easier time as it did last night. Obviously, that's probably going to be the easiest game of his career. Yeah. It's not really a bold call, but it's not going to be as easy as last night. Commanders going into New York. Jets could be Aaron Rodgers' comeback if they beat the Dolphins, which they could.
I would even say the Jets, like just how Washington's playing right now. It feels like they're giving up, and the strong side is probably the offense, but you're playing the Jets defense, who I think still. Like looking at the data, they're still a top 5 kind of defense, and Sam Howell is prone to 1 getting sacked, 2 throwing interceptions, and I think that's the Jets' strong point. So yeah, we'll go the Jets probably like 6-3 kind of game.
I'd love Aaron Rodgers to come back in a 6-3.
Gets injured first play.
Oh my! Can you imagine?
Does he have Achilles? That would be the storylines there.
Falcons hosting the Colts.
I would probably go.
So it's probably going to be an ugly game.
I would say the Colts just because I feel like the Falcons will win this week, but then, shit the bed next week. It feels like that kind of division. I think most games will be like that.
I agree. Yeah, I think the Colts have just got a bit of something about them as well. Whereas the Falcons, I just think are going to limp to the end of the season. And I know we mentioned there the Patriots not going to pick to win another game. I don't think I'm going to pick Washington to win another game. Again, I'm not sure who they have for the rest of the season, but I'm going to struggle to pick Washington to win another game. They look like they've jacked it in. Titans, Seahawks?
I'll probably go Seahawks. I think the Titans might be out of it by this point, and they'll probably play a hard for variable, but I think it's a kind of game what Seahawks will have to have, and I think they'll certainly win them to make it more interesting because I think they've just got a better overall team.
Agree, yeah. And Pete Carroll can get his team fired up when he needs to. Jags over the Bucks?
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
Bucks are better on the road as well, and they're at home here. 2 biggies. Cowboys at Miami.
Do you want to do a coin flip, the first coin flip kind of game?
I presume that means you're picking Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, coin flip, yeah.
Cool. So we'll say heads is the home team, tails is the thing. So
heads is Miami, yep.
And it's tails, so the Dallas win.
Big opening victory.
I'm glad he went that way, so he wasn't. I was just making it up in the background.
Well, I know who Paul's picking. And then another big Christmas Day night game. What a game this is going to be. Baltimore going into San Francisco.
I would say. Go on, you go first.
I'm picking San Fran. I don't think I'll pick San Fran to lose another game again.
Yeah,
so.
Especially at home as well. And I think they've got a few injuries this week, and I think they're going to be resting a few players. So I think they'll be full fit. And I think how the AFC North's going, the probably the Ravens don't have to be ball out, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they might even still get number 1 seed even with a loss. So So we've got Rams Saints in LA.
Probably go Rams right now. How it's looking.
Definitely. We're not picking the Panthers to win a game.
Nope.
Lions in Minnesota. I think this is a great game. And I'm leaning Minnesota.
I'll go coin flip because
cool.
Yeah, I still think the Lions are still the best team in the division. I could see them easily losing this kind of game again, but it's in a dome. That's the only thing I'm thinking. So I'll go coin flip again.
So Vikings are heads.
Yep. And it's heads. The Vikings win.
Bears over Cardinals.
Yeah.
And sorry, Tommy Cutlets, but we are taking the Eagles. Well, I'm taking the Eagles. I shouldn't speak for.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles as well at home, especially against the Giants.
Cool. So the NFC South now has 0 playoff teams. That's more like it. That's better. And division winners with a losing record, much more like it. It's perfect for the NFC South.
Okay, so the Falcons, because obviously the Buccaneers are the top seed right now because of the division record. So I'll be curious to see what it would be at the end how it all works out. But
yeah, maybe compared opponents. Maybe I'm not too sure.
So right now the playoff teams in the NFC is the Rams will be the 7th seed, the Vikings will be the 6th seed, and the Eagles will be the 5th seeds. And then the division winners are just currently who we said, with the Falcons being top of the rancid South.
Yep. Denver getting in. Bengals and Browns getting in on the AFC side. We've got 2 weeks to go. New Year's Eve week. Nice. So, Jets at Cleveland.
I'm going to say Browns because I still think the Jets are losing this week against the Dolphins. So I don't think Rodgers will be coming back with that kind of record. So they'll probably, with Zach Wilson playing that kind of defense in Cleveland, I think Cleveland will win with Joe Flacco revenge game.
Yeah, and even if they beat Washington, they're 6-9 going into that game. So
I think I'm guessing you'll have to have like 9 wins to get into the AFC wildcard. So I feel the Jets would probably be eliminated how we're predicting it'll be eliminated at that point. So I can't see Rodgers coming back.
Yeah, with the Browns winning that game there in the 7th seed at 9-7 with a week to go. So that seems a really fair bet. Yeah. Colts hosting the Raiders. I fancy Indy at home, but
I do fancy Colts, but this one's not certain for me because I'm still not 100% sure on the Colts as a whole. I feel like they could
any given week.
They could lose like they did last week where they got blown out by the Bengals. And so I would say the Colts right now. Obviously, things can change, and we're looking into the future here and trying to predict stuff. And how our predictors are showing we're not 100% right all the time. So, but yeah, we'll go Colts here because I think the Raiders will be eliminated at this point as well. So, but they might be playing hard for the head coach to get him the head coach role. So I think it'll be tight. But let's go the Colts into the home team.
Yeah, and definitely wouldn't be surprised Antonio Pierce gets them all fired up for a big win. But I'm picking the Colts as well. Yeah. Ravens hosting the Dolphins.
I'll go the Ravens. I just don't trust the Dolphins against any good team.
Me too. And I think by this point, this is 3 weeks away at this point, I think me and you might be playing line for the Dolphins because they are just running through offensive linemen. Every week someone goes down and goes on IR, it feels like. So I don't know who they're going to be trotting out at this point, but I'm starting to fear that Tua might not make it to the Super Bowl.
And especially playing away. I think at home it would have been a lot closer. But saying that they just lost the Titans at home. So, they haven't really got... Have they really got an advantage? That's the trick. And, and you looking at our predictive, they've just lost the Cowboys and Ravens. So, it'll be a struggle. It'll be interesting next week.
And putting the pressure on there, Bills are obviously going to beat the Patriots, or we're going to predict them to. Let's not maybe be obvious about it, but I think they will. And that will set up a big Week 18 game because the Bills and the Dolphins play each other. Got the Texans hosting the Titans. Texans win.
I'll play the Texans now. Again, this is one where a lot can change. I don't think CJ Stroud's playing this week, so we'll see what he's playing next week and see what the rest of the players in. Because if they obviously go into week 16 with all the injuries they've got, then they might have lost another game, and we'll see what they are here. But right now, I'd probably go the Texans to beat the Titans. Me
too. I would take the Chiefs as well at home against the Bengals. As much as I'm impressed with Jake Browning,
it'll not be the Browning head stadium.
Doesn't quite work as well, but
no, not as well. I'll probably go the Chiefs, but again, this is another one where the Chiefs are not. They're just not the Chiefs right now. So again, we predict them to win the last 2-3 games, but I won't be surprised if they drop one of them as well. But also, it's the Chiefs where they'll somehow win the next 4 games, and we'll see them at the Super Bowl. They're that kind of team where I just can't really put my finger on where they're actually. I think the offense is not going to be great, but they've still got the best quarterback in the league. So anything, and probably one of the best head coaches. So you never know.
Counts for a lot.
Yep.
Jags are going to beat the Panthers. Don't think.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even mention Denver beating the Chargers, but the Broncos are going to beat the Chargers.
Yeah, unless they get the new coach bump the second.
Yeah, if they do, I mean, I can't really predict that, to be honest.
But they've got Stick playing, quarterback. So if it was Herbert, maybe something a bit different. But yeah, I'd say Denver to win that game.
And any criticism of Justin Herbert that has been about his leadership or anything else, I think should be put to bed after last night. Because I don't think Justin Herbert's leading the team to a 63-21.
I did see someone on Twitter who was like, Herbert's the MVP for this one game right now because the Eagles
should get
out. Yeah.
How bad that market is, not sure. It's not worth a bet. Seahawks over the Steelers. Steelers on the road.
I would probably go Seahawks. I probably trust them more than the Steelers, but it's not. It'd probably be like 50, probably 60-40. I could see this. The Steelers are the Steelers, where we'll probably end up predicting be a losing record, and it's just like, well, we've done something wrong here because
they're gonna get. We've got them at 8-8 currently.
Oh,
so
okay,
as long
so
as they win week 18, we're fine.
Maybe they'll tie. Can you put ties in here?
We can, actually. Paul said there's going to be 2 as well, and we're at 0, so maybe we need to squeeze 2 in week 18 to
help.
I'm not doing that. Big NFC game as well. Cowboys hosting the Lions. A while ago, this would have been a real toss-up, I think.
Yeah, I think right now, go the Cowboys. I just think how the Lions defense playing, but they are getting Gardner Johnson back.
Yeah,
we'll see how that affects them. If it, who knows? So, I expect the Cowboys, and like how we predicted it right now, the Cowboys have gone on a monster streak, and Dak MVP, Cowboys probably close favorites to get to the Super Bowl with how they've just gone through the Eagles, Dolphins, Buffalo, Lions. Not be a bad stretch. So if they do go out there, all props to them. But yeah, even though we've gone Cowboys winning other games, I could see them losing one of them games. But
I wouldn't be stunned. Yeah,
just right now, I'd probably just go the Cowboys winning. I think they play well. They're not favorites against Buffalo, but in my head, they're the favourites.
Yeah, and I mean that loss could even be this week. Let's be fair. Buffalo are a very tough to predict team each week. So, and I think even if Dallas win out, the way we have it going, the Eagles are still going to take the NFC East.
Yeah,
because I'm sure we're predicting them to beat the Cardinals, right?
Yep.
So yeah, there we go. They're already back on top through their shared opponents thing because they beat the Cardinals. So now, whatever Dallas do, really, they're not going to win the division unless the Eagles slip up realistically against Seattle this coming week. Because I don't think they're going to lose to the Giants. You never know though. Tommy Cutler.
Well, I was just about to say that it could be like a crazy game where it's like it's raining in New York and it's like 2017 and both teams haven't done much, but somehow DeVito just pulls out a last drive in the last few minutes. Fingers crossed.
Come on, Tommy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Rams going into rainy New York.
I'm guessing that little red sign means they're on a short week.
It means you're on a longer week.
Oh, on a longer week.
Okay, the Rams and the Saints are on Thursday Night Football.
Cool. I'll go the Rams then. I think if it was a shorter week, then I could have. I could see New York sneaking that kind of game. But let's go Rams, just because again, how they're playing, they've got. If you look at all the different sides of the ball, their offense is probably way above everyone, all the other ones. So especially New York. So let's go Rams.
San Fran over Washington, wherever it is, doesn't really matter to me. Huge NFC South one. Saints got their mini bye, they call it, playing Thursday Night Football at Tampa Bay. I'm
going to go Tampa Bay.
Me too.
Again, that's one of them with the NFC South. I'm like, oh yeah, the Tampa win that, but then I'll not also be surprised if it's a 21-20 last second Taysom Hill 60-yard scramble touchdown. So it'll be something like, because it's just the NFC South where you just can't predict it. Because like I think a few weeks ago I was like, I think the Falcons have a big win. It's like, okay, they're going to run away with this division, and then they'll lose like a ridiculous game. So I think every single, except the Panthers who would lose every game, but all the other teams are so up and down that they can win a good team one week and then just have a disastrous week the next. So I'll go Buccaneers because they're at home and they're probably more consistent. Where I feel like the Saints probably have a higher ceiling, but they have a lower floor. While the Buccaneers feel like they're very similar most weeks, where they're going to get low 20s kind of score, and they're gonna either give up high teens or high 20s. It's going to be that kind of game. While the Saints could be, God knows where they'll be at that point.
Yeah, or Lyman might have knocked Derek Carr out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Although I did see he got him some nice Christmas gifts, so maybe that was buying him another week of good favour. We'll see, but this is a few weeks away at this point, so
yeah,
I wouldn't like to make any predictions about Derek Carr's relationship at that point. Another big game for the NFC South. So who's that? 7 and 8 at this point. Falcons going into Chicago.
I'm going to say Chicago. I just think being in Chicago with that weather, coming from sunny Atlanta. Well, I don't know how sunny Atlanta is at Christmas. I'm just guessing that it'll definitely be warmer than Chicago, and obviously playing outside in Chicago, I think Ridder will start choking and he'll start doing some crazy things. Because even when he has like I was saying last week, even though he had a good game in terms of yards and and all them statistics, he has like poor moments which cost them the games, like the missed touchdown, the fumble. Was it him who fumbled? I know someone fumbled. He still has, even when he has like over 300 yards to score like 20 points, and it just feels like they're not that team just to punch it in. And against Chicago, it feels like again they're hit and miss, but I think at this point they might be fighting for the coach's role, and I think a lot of the players are they're playing for, are they going to be there next year, or they're looking for the next big contract somewhere else. I think they're still going to play hard in that sense, especially Fields, because I think the last few weeks I can just see Chicago. I don't know about you. I can just see Chicago just like convincing themselves the Fields is the quarterback for next year, and then doing something different with that number one pick.
Yeah,
when they get the best quarterback, and there you go.
It kind of cracks me up because you hear it a lot on national reporting as well as local of like, well, they've really got 4 more weeks to judge what Justin Fields is. It's like, if you don't know what Justin Fields is now, get out of the business.
Yeah.
Like, I like Justin Fields. I think he's a good quarterback. Caleb Williams is the pick.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that. Best wishes to Justin Fields. I mean, this could be a real like shop window game because I think Atlanta would be a great fit for him.
Yeah. And I think you'll be able to get I think if he plays well, you should be able to get like a second rounder. I'm not quite sure if you get a first rounder from teams, but a second round, I think someone will take a punt if he has a good end of the year. And then you can, you take Caleb Williams, but I can just see them trading that number one pick and moving down a little bit and getting either like Marvin Harrison Jr. or getting the top offensive lineman who, after half a year, people are like, why the hell have they got him? This guy is a bust. It feels very Chicago. And I feel like they're going to keep the head coach as well. It just feels like the last few weeks, it's like there's not been as much whispers about sacking the head coach and GM. I feel like Chicago's one of them teams who like to keep their coaches a bit too long.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
It feels like. And I mean, with this win, it does put them at 500.
Yeah.
And I think, if maybe not coming into the season, if you said you're going to be 500 gone into the last week of the season, but certainly midway through this season, you'd think, well, that's a pretty good job he's done, actually. He's recovered pretty well. And it's like, you're just delaying the inevitable because no doubt they'll start next year badly.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Because the defense has definitely got better, but is it, he's there to, over the last few years, it's not been great. Obviously, the additions have helped from getting on to Sweat, but I'm still not convinced by him. And I think, if you're going to get Caleb Williams, you're going to either have to get a great offensive coordinator where there's not a lot of them out there where you can just pick and choose, or you go get an offensive head coach who's going to do something with him rather than just waste away his talents. Because again, I think even if they get Caleb Williams, I can see it being similar to what happened to a lot of these teams where they don't go into it with a plan, with a set, like, this is what we're going to do with him. There's going to be ups and downs. Let's try and figure something out. And then, we're currently like
3 years.
Although like Bryce Young right now, where it's like, have we made the right decision here? And is it more like the surroundings rather than his talent?
Yeah, and I mean, even, you look at Jacksonville as well. If they'd have got someone, Doug Peterson was a great hire.
Mm-hmm.
If that hadn't been a great hire, though, you think, well, you've just wasted Trevor Lawrence's rookie deal.
Yeah. I don't even think he was there. I don't think he was their number one pick as well for the head coach.
No, he wasn't. No, can't remember who it was now, but Justin Herbert, the Chargers just absolutely wasted his rookie deal. Like you said, Bryce Young whatever comes of him, they certainly set back his rookie deal a huge amount by whoever they're getting next. And yeah, and my biggest thing is like, you obviously you want a great offensive coordinator, but if you have a great OC, they're going to be a head coach.
Yeah.
You see at Detroit now, Ben Johnson's going to be a head coach. In Texans, Bobby Slowick's probably going to be a head coach even next year or the year after.
Yep.
You make your great offensive mind your head coach. Well, he's not going anywhere unless he fails and you sack him. But there's security there. I understand the thing of having like a defensive coach and the tough and man management and what have you. The motivate and get the best out of you. But you're more likely to cycle through offensive coordinators that way. It's just a fact of life. So yeah, Matt Eberflus and Caleb Williams is not a pairing I'd be super excited about. So I'm hoping that goes a different direction. No offense, Matt.
Yeah, and we'll see if he actually enters the draft, because there's been a whole thing that it's like Chicago. Yeah. Well, they have got the number 1 pick with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Like if he's just like, nah, I'll wait till next year and see what happens then.
That'd be a big call.
Yeah.
I would not do it if I was a college player, certainly. But
with the advertising deals, it helps.
It definitely helps.
It takes a sting out of it. It's not as crazy, because he'll make more money sooner when he's getting that big contract. But if you go to a terrible organization, you're not going to get that massive second contract. So look at Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Cool. And our final game of this week is the Packers at Minnesota. Real good one.
I'm going to go Packers.
I'm going to go Vikings. So we're going to the coin. The Vikings' second week in a row on the coin.
Yeah. They are that kind of team, though.
Yeah, very much so.
It was heads. The Vikings win again.
Wow, it's like last year. The Vikings just rolling with the luck of the draw, I guess. So what do we have now? Still, only one NFC South team. Thankfully, the thing's working perfectly. Vikings in, Cowboys at 5, Rams at 7. Got the Browns in, the Bengals in. Broncos as a 5 seed. That's a great job by Sean Payton, to be fair, if that holds. Ravens going to be number 1 seed. Chiefs, Dolphins, and they play the Bills, who are game behind them in week 18. And I mean, that AFC South still up for grabs as well. Jags 10-6, and got the Colts and the Texans at 9-7. So not sure who plays who week 18, but let's load it up and see. So we've got the Jets, Patriots. What do we think?
Patriots. They always beat the Jets.
And yeah, it's going to be the end of Robert Saleh, probably.
An end of Bill Belichick, possibly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a weird one. Bills at Miami.
I'm gonna go Bills. I'm just gonna go. I feel like that's the narrative. It feels like this year that the Bills are gonna.
Yeah, I've been high on Miami all season, but they're just so banged up, and that line is falling apart. So I'm gonna go the Bills as well. Woo-hoo. I was tempted to send it to the coin, but no, let's just go Bills. Ravens at home against Steelers.
I go Ravens. Yeah.
8 and 9 Steelers. Bengals hosting the Browns. I'm going to go Bengals, but
I was going to go Browns. So I think this is a coin flip kind of game. So perfect. 2 backup quarterbacks, and it's heads.
Have they all been heads?
Though I think the first one was tails for the Cowboys. It feels like you're I think they've all gone for your picks. I feel like, and the Cowboys. It's
go on, get a Powerball ticket tonight.
Yeah.
Colts hosting the Texans.
Oh,
yeah, great game. I'm gonna go the Colts at home, but
I'm gonna go coin flip. I think
cool.
I'm not quite sure either way. Like, I think how that game's going to go is what's happened a few weeks beforehand in terms of injuries and all that. So let's have a look. These tails, the Houston Texans sneak it.
It puts them in the playoffs as things stand. We're going to go Jags over the Titans, right?
Yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost that game, but I'll go with the Jags right now.
Chiefs over the Chargers?
Yeah.
And Broncos over the Raiders?
I'm not sure.
Well, I'm going Broncos over the Raiders.
Well, I'll go Raiders. I'm going to go coin flip because it feels
I'd love to see this. I'd love to see Sean Payton blow it on the last week. Come on, coin.
It's heads. It's heads.
Yes. Or the Broncos fall out the playoffs. Oh, you'd love to see it. No offense, Sean, but I don't like you.
Tampa, yeah.
Love to see that. So Tampa, Dallas, Philly in New York? I'm gonna go Philly.
I'll go Philly now, but again, it would be interesting. That'll be a great game to. I'm just trying to think which would be the TV game if we're looking.
I think it's probably gonna
Vikings Lions, Browns Bengals.
Vikings Lions is gonna be for the division.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be Vikings Lions then, right?
But then, yeah, probably.
Yeah, because actually the NFC South's sewing up.
Yeah.
Well, it's sewing up, presuming the Bucks beat the Panthers, actually. Yeah. So I think it's either going to be Bills Dolphins or Vikings Lions.
Yeah, I think Bills Dolphins would get it. I think that's the sexier kind of tie. But I will not be surprised, it's the NFL. They'll probably put both on. They'll make one a Saturday game or something. Did they do a Saturday game last time?
No, they always do them on Sunday for this. But I'd love them to do double Sunday night football for it. That'd be a real interesting one. But yeah, I'm going to take the Lions at home.
Yeah, same. I think there'll be a lot of pressure, but they'll sneak that division win.
Bears at Green Bay?
I'll go Green Bay.
I want to go the Bears.
Oh, okay.
Bears been on a run.
You just want the Bears to get in, didn't you?
A little bit. Come on, coin.
Oh, it's tails as well.
Oh, they don't sneak in anyway. That's annoying. Falcons Saints in the Does It Matter Bowl? I want to go to the Saints at home, but I don't.
That's just the end, yeah.
I have no idea, really. Seahawks at Cardinals.
Yeah, I go Seahawks.
Me too. And San Fran at home against the Rams.
Yep.
Cool. Oh, poor Bears lose out at 9-8. So yeah, in the NFC we have the 49ers, number 1 seed, 14-3. Wow, we've got 3 14-3 teams. Poor Dallas. Eagles, number 2 seed, 14-3. Lions, 3 seed at 10-6. The Bucks, 4 seed at 9-8. And the wildcard teams, Dallas at 14-3 with a 5 seed. Vikings 9-8, 6 seed. Rams 9-8 with a 7 seed. And very hard done to the Bears 9-8. Seahawks 9-8, who just miss out on a wildcard place.
Yeah. So the playoffs. So you know what? It might work for Dallas in a sense that it'll be Eagles. So it'll be Rams at Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be Vikings at Lions. So it'll be the same game as Week 18, and then it'll be Cowboys at Tampa Bay. And you probably would take.
Be happy with that.
Yeah, all of them. I know Paul's mentioned you'd rather have a home game a couple of times, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so if the Vikings, so that would both be great for 49ers. If the Vikings sneak against the Lions, then it would be Vikings, Niners, and it would be Cowboys at Eagles.
Whew. Well, we'll actually, once we do this week, we'll go to the playoffs and pick those as well.
Nice. Sorry. Getting ahead of himself.
No problem. AFC, so we've got the Ravens, number 1 seed at 13-4, Chiefs 12-5, 2 seed, the Jags 11-6, 3 seed, and then the Bills must take it on
head to head because it would have been twice.
Dolphins twice at 10-7, the Dolphins 10-7, the Texans 10-7, the 6 seed, and the Bengals 10-7, 7 seed. And I mean, harsh to miss out. Oh, did we miss a Broncos game somewhere? They're only at 9-7 here. Let's load up the Broncos. We didn't pick the Broncos Lions in week 15, apparently. Oh, we're so professional here. Who got Broncos Lions week 15? I'm going to take the Lions at home.
Yeah, I'll take Lions as well. Oh, that makes that game less interesting in week 18.
It does, yeah. So the Bills Dolphins is going to be on TV.
Yeah, there you go. You are welcome, schedule makers.
The Broncos still lose out at 9-8, unfortunately for them. Browns lose out at 9-8. The Colts lose out at 9-8. Still an incredible season by, I'd say all 3 of those head coaches. You'd say incredible jobs to finish at 9-8 and just out of the playoffs, though.
I was going to say that out of them, like, it's one of the things when you start picking the games, makes sense. I'll still be surprised if the Texans win that many games. I know we picked them. I think they're the, other than the NFC South, because you never can guess what's happening. I would say the Texans the one where it depends on basically the next week with how CJ Stroud gets and if Collins gets back and all them, and if they get Schultz back as well. Because I think if they're out for more than this weekend, then obviously that changes a lot of it, and probably that the Colts might sneak in where they win that last game. So yeah, that last is it Colts and Texans as well? So that would be obviously for a wild card game. So there'll be a good last weekend because you have the Browns Bengals, you'll have the Texans Colts for a playoff spot. The Vikings,
Bears, Packers potentially.
Yeah, Bears, Packers, and obviously so makes it really interesting.
Yeah, it's all a lot gonna be up for grabs. I don't even think, none of the number one seeds will be secured either. So that's what we like to see. So then, how does the playoffs look? So in the AFC, we have the Dolphins going into Buffalo.
So
I think we know who we're picking here.
Yep.
We're picking the Bills to beat them in Miami the week previous. Seems fair that we'd pick them at home. Jags over Texans is where I'm going.
Another division as well, but yeah, good Jags as well.
Yep. And what has been a real good rivalry of late, Chiefs Bengals. I'm taking the Chiefs again.
I'll take the Chiefs. With Burrow's not there, it's not the same. And that would have been a game a few weeks before as well. So there's a lot of like multiple games happening where they haven't played each other.
Yeah. And all home wins there.
Yeah. Which never normally happens, but
no. So NFC, at least got one road win that I'm gonna lock in. Fuck the coin, I'm locking it in. Cowboys beat the Bucks on the road. Lions host the Vikings. Great game again. I'm
gonna go Vikings. I think
we're going to the
Lions. It feels like I feel like the Vikings are very and I feel like the Lions are going to fall on the face at some point. Here we go to the coin. It's tails. The Vikings get it.
Kevin O'Connell, coach of the year, 30-1. Eagles at home against the Rams.
Yeah,
I don't think this is an easy one, but
it'll not be an easy one. But I think because they're at home, I would take the Eagles.
Me too, begrudgingly. So that sets us up. Jags going into Kansas City. I'm going to go the Chiefs. And I kind of hate myself for doing it, but I'm going to go the Chiefs.
I'm going to go coin flip. Just because how many times the Chiefs have lost this year at home? They've lost 3, and is this the year where you finally see some cracks? And it's heads. The Chiefs win. Of course,
feels like that's how the Chiefs going to do it as well.
They get all the luck, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. Bills going into Baltimore. I love this game. I'm going to take Baltimore as a road.
Yeah, okay, but that's a great AFC divisional round. Yeah, I don't think you could. Right now, you probably couldn't make it any. Well, maybe the Bills. It depends on how the Bills plays the next few weeks. Because again, I can see the importance back of the face. But I'll take the Ravens too. They're definitely the. But I wouldn't be super confident just because again, the Ravens seem that kind of team where they can just lose to anyone somehow any week. And it feels like they've been like the last few years when when Lamar was the MVP, they lost to the Titans at home, and that is it's that kind of, I feel like they're still that kind of team where they're suddenly 20-0 down after some fluke plays, and it's like all on Jackson's shoulders. So we'll see, but I'll go the Ravens.
Yeah, that should be it's going to be a great weekend of football, as it always is. Eagles at home against the 5-seed Cowboys. I'm going Dallas just to get.
I think right now I'll probably go the Cowboys. I think obviously how the season ends will. I think if the Eagles win out and the Cowboys win out, the Cowboys have still got the momentum. But I think if the Cowboys lose maybe 1, even 2 games in the next few weeks, then you start okay, there is some chink armor, and I think that does matter when teams are playing each other. Because I always feel like we'll talk about the next round. What my reasoning was going to be.
So we're not picking the Vikings to go 2-0 against 49ers this season, right?
No.
I've put that in already. I was pretty confident in your take there, but 49ers with a week of rest, week of prep at home,
against Mullins, revenge game.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I didn't think of a Nick Mullins revenge game. Great shout. I wonder what the line on that'll be. 10.5?
Probably 10.5.
I think I'll be smashing the 10.5 for the Niners. So that gives us a 1 and 2 seed AFC title game. Ravens hosting the Chiefs.
I'm going to go Ravens. I'm going to give it to Ravens. Even though I've said I can see the Chiefs going all the way to Super Bowl because they're like the Patriots where you feel like they're having a terrible year and then suddenly they're in the Super Bowl and winning 10-3, that kind of team. But I still think Ravens are the better team.
Me too, yeah. And I think they've got a better defense. The Chiefs Chiefs' best part is their defense, and I think the Ravens are basically just better on both sides of the ball. But it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You said I don't think you can ever be like, I'd be stunned if the Chiefs won this game because that feels like it'd be a lie. True, basically. And then we have the 5-seed Cowboys. What a run for the 5-seed getting all the way to the NFC title game. going into San Fran. Pains me to do it. I'm going San Francisco.
Yeah,
I can't pick a team to be favoured over them.
And this is what I was going to say about how the momentum ends at the end of the season, where I still feel Cowboys have got, they're not scared of the 49ers, but they've definitely got something where, you know, the last 2 years and obviously how it went this year, for some reason 49ers have their number, and I think the Cowboys know that, and so I think they'll go into that game stressed about it. So I'll go the 49ers too. I think it'll be a closer game how it was than early in the season, but
yeah, I think Niners are just. How do you predict them to lose?
Injuries, probably, and you know they've lost 3 times this year. So and you know the Cowboys and the Eagles are not, you know, they're not mugs. You know, they can easily and a lot of the fight. I know this is like a whole thing where. And it is true, Brock's not really come back from a 10-point deficit in terms of when you're down in the third or fourth quarter. He hasn't done that yet. I think he can. I think it's a bit weird to like, well, he hasn't done that. Well, isn't that a good thing? Isn't it a good
that's
thing?
That's a really weird negative to hold over somebody.
Yeah.
And that, so, I don't want to call people who are doing that haters, but yeah, it seems like a really weird.
Nick Wright's on that hill quite a lot from the first takes. But yeah, it's a weird hill, but you know, he has to prove that, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on him, so we still don't know how that's going to work. And you know, if he was a quarterback for any other team, I would be like, he hasn't done it he hasn't won like an NFC game. Same as Dak, you know, it's going to be the same thing for him when he comes in. It's like, can he handle this pressure? I think it's before both quarterbacks. So yeah. So it's the 49ers. So it's a repeat of Super Bowl 47.
Yeah, in Nola, right?
Yeah, when the lights went out.
Yeah, I was going to say also a Randy Gregory revenge game coming up there.
Trey Lance revenge game.
Trey Lance gets involved. Things have really gone weird. So obviously that takes us to our Usher Super Bowl halftime show. And again, I think it's pretty obvious who I'm picking at this point, I guess. As I've just said, I can't predict them to lose another game. So I am going Niners as the away team.
Same.
Only the site doesn't have confetti built in, but this is where the confetti should be falling.
I would say the Ravens are probably as a 49ers fan from the AFC, the one who scares me the most.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still be concerned about the Chiefs because, you know, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, like I've said, and I would still be worried that they'll somehow win. Like when they played in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago and they were up by 10 in the fourth quarter, I still was like, we're not going to win this game because it's the Chiefs. But other than that, if it was like any of the other teams, Jags, Texans, Bengals, whoever's the other team.
I think the only other one, if I was a 49ers fan, the Bills is always like...
Oh, Bills.
You just don't know what's going to turn up.
Yeah, but the Bills defense doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
And I think with the 49ers, the defense normally show up. They lost the 3 games because of the defense didn't show up. But generally, they show up. It's can the offense, when they're playing a defense where they can just stay on the field and they just go down the field easily and take time off the board, I'm more confident. And I think they can do that against that Bills defense.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've got enough on defense to slow Josh Allen down. With the Ravens and, you know, if the Chiefs defense pick up, they've got a kind of defense where suddenly it's, you know, it's still 0-0 after the first quarter because both defense and top. And that's when I start worrying where, you know, when Brock starts throwing some, you know, Hail Mary balls and that kind of thing where, so that's the team. But, you know, I'll take that the 49ers winning, you know, and first time in my fandom. So happy days.
It feels weird that it's the same for me and Paul as Cowboys fans as well. Like such successful teams, and yet they haven't won anything for, you know, best part of 30 years. It's maybe more than 30 years, around 30 years anyway. It feels very weird. Like I said, two huge successful franchises, but
at least I've seen 2 Super Bowls with them in. I don't know if that's better or worse, but yeah, at least I've seen a lot of NFC championships wins. So I've seen 2 of them.
Yeah, you've seen playoff wins, crucially.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and Paul can count them on one hand. So yeah, but another great year for the 49ers. Congratulations.
Shanahan finally gets over the hump.
It seems like it, yeah. And yeah, no energy going out in... I don't even know where the Super Bowl is this year.
Vegas.
Oh, yeah, they will have their energy running out, I'm sure. slot machines might go down, but
exactly, yeah, someone might be plugging in too many lights in the background. That is a great place for the Super Bowl as well. I've got to say that Vegas feels like a good place to be. So I think Byron just having some technical issues. There you go. Can hear.
Yeah, I was wondering what will be going on in the Sphere that night.
Yeah, who knows? It will be like the yeah. Who else will play out there? It'll be someone like Chris Brown will play out there or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have something going on. But yeah, that wraps up our playoff predictor episode. Hopefully, Paul hasn't fallen asleep in the background to stop our recording, so me and Joe can not just, what's the word? Ad-lib for 2 hours while Paul's snoozing. But he says he's going to knock it off in 10 seconds. So, yeah, thank you all for listening. And not sure if we had any big takeaways in terms of any betting markets you could exploit here. I like Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay, coach of the year odds. And I think if you get them in the playoffs, 13-40 to 1.
I would say if you like not making the playoffs, probably like the Browns, where like their current position right now, probably like the Seahawks and maybe the Green Bay as well, because all of them are in the playoff position right now, and the Colts. So like and the Broncos. So there's a few teams who are currently in the playoff position didn't make it, so that could be a decent market just to chuck a few quid on them not making the playoffs. I think other than that, maybe even going the Bears but having a winning record will be. So wonder what the odds are for that. So
yeah, I've seen earlier this week they were 14 to 1 to make the playoffs, which I didn't bet on it, but I did like as a market because they're so close to making it. Like, and it stuns me that they are. So just one other result going their way, and they are in the playoffs. And I think 14 to 1's a good bet for that. I'm not sure what they were to have a winning record though. Yeah, I don't think you're getting any good values on division winners. Looking at what we've got, Bills over the Dolphins could be. I don't know what the odds on that are. I don't think it'll be too long, but it's probably worth a bet.
Yeah, because the Dolphins would have to, lose out or just win one game and lose 3. So that's still like that would be a bit of a disaster for them. But yeah, good shot.
Cool. Well, yeah, some of our quick thoughts and our rest of season predictor. Bills are plus 300 for the division. Seems like a good bet. So yeah, thank you.